intense day in the shop. This is what we got going on. Got our block just about ready. We're just gonna get it surfaced to clean up this surface here because this didn't have MLS gaskets. And so we're just gonna surface that. I ended up scoring a set of studs for this. So that was cool. I traded somebody that wasn't doing boost for a set of regular bolts. You know, somebody close. And anyway, this thing's ready to start gapping rings. I got all the pistons here. Just gonna clean them up a little bit, gap the rings, put them back together, set them aside. We got a full intake for it. I actually picked out a wiring harness yesterday that goes all the way to the fuse block. So I got the fuse block that goes in the truck and the entire wiring harness. I just got to change the injector plugs, possibly. So we're doing good there. And then we got this 3800 here that we're gonna start putting back together. This is my daily. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of oil in the intake manifold, and it had some misses, and it needs spark plug wires. And we got our oil pan down here for our hot rod truck, and we got our 4L80 here. Finally had all the bolts in it, and it's just gonna be a stock converter, just stock 4L80. When I can afford it, I'll pull it out and do something. This time on Bear Fulmer's YouTube channel, we clean LS pistons. And look, it's gonna be Gaptoberfest soon. So we're working on some stuff. So we took an engine apart. I just wanted to see all the parts up close. I've seen them all. I even tore the lifters down. I did the rocker arms, everything, just to see. The first motor, the one over there, and that hot rod, pretty much all stock pieces. 26 on number 7. 22 on number 3. We got the magic out. Crank magic. This thing right here. Oh yeah. We did what they say shouldn't be done. It's funny, right here in this little area here, on one side, all the sludge gets, and you just scoop it out. Just if we look at the cam bearings, it's like the cam never even touched the top surface. But we're not replacing cam bearings. We're not replacing anything. I just need to clean this because I had to sand. Hold on. So what we did here is we hit it with some 400 grit and we cleaned up the deck. It looks pretty good. When I first pulled the head gaskets off, these were just crusted all the way through, like almost filled up. And I didn't have MLS gaskets on this anyway, so I'm glad I took them off. We're just gonna throw the LS9 gaskets on here, and because I guess people like those for boosts, and I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. I did take it apart, and then I finished this surface here and cleaned up the surface right here. Crank don't look too bad. We can wipe that off and toss it back in here, and we got these here. I ended up with a set of head studs, which is pretty cool. I traded a set of regular bolts to an NA guy. And we got, we're just gonna run these Gen 3 pistons. Last time I bought a set of Gen 4 rods, they were like 80 bucks. Now they're almost 200, so I'm just gonna run these and clean them up and get a bunch of the gunk off of them. They got pretty good amount. I really feel like this is just anti-friction coating now. But I guess we're just gonna make it scrape all the hell now. This one was 30 thousandths. So you can take an old bolt like this. I cut a groove down the side, cut the head off so it can spin true. And then I made 2 of these to clean out the bolt holes in this block. So I'll run these down there with some oil, clean out all my holes for my head bolts or studs, and then they'll be more prepped. That'll be better. It's got no engine and trans. It's kind of nice though. Two-wheel drive, rack and pinion steering, bare bones, you know? We got a bent up bumper. Interior is pretty nice. Threw the truck box in from my old truck. Drive shaft in there. We're gonna take off this bumper, take off the broken lights. Maybe they're just taped in there. I don't know. But we're just getting it out so we can clean it up, get it out of the weeds. You can see where the dirt was growing around the tires, and take off all the broken parts and start making a list. Power steering hose that goes from there to the power steering pump. We're gonna need heater lines. We're lucky this is cable driven, or that shift cable down there. So there's a few things I gotta sort out. I'm undecided on the old air conditioning, but it looks like, well, they cut this line here. So if I could take this line off here and buy the line that goes from here, I would like to put AC on this truck. And then I don't know if a V6 and a V8 radiator are different. So I'm gonna look into that, especially if we're gonna run AC, be running some horse torques. I like how incredibly minimalistic this truck is. And I got rid of a 4x4 for this thing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to have some fun with this. And this is where it begins. I don't know. The next thing for this is to fix the doors, but we'll keep that for something else. As far as the red truck goes, I got all the pistons gapped. I'm just waiting to clean them and get the gasket set and the head gaskets for that thing, and then clean the block and start putting it back together. Well, I ultrasonic cleaned all the oil rings and they came out wicked awesome. Don't ask me about the pistons. I don't even know if that's a great idea yet. I got the pistons all disassembled. I'm just cleaning the rings and the ring landings in the pistons before I put them back together. So I've been cleaning these pistons and whatnot, and one thing I've been noticing is that the ring lands aren't completely perfectly clean. So I took an old ring. I had some old 6-liter rings laying around, and they happen to be the same width, I guess. You got to make sure they're just the same width as your other rings. Anyway, you just cut a ring like this, take some 400 grit sandpaper, make sure the end is not doesn't have a burr on it so it doesn't dig into it. But then you can always use the side that's factory too. So, and then just use that thing, get in there and clean out your, you can just, the flatter you lay it and stuff, it'll kind of get in there, and you can just use it to clean them ring lands. And I do it until the ring moves through there smoothly, and then I clean it out, and I'll clean them one more time before I'm done. All right, we got all our little slugs ready to go, and they're all cleaned and rings are reinstalled. That there. And here we got this guy. We made an attempt to wash it. Man, this stuff is baked on like a cast iron pan, so I just make sure all the debris is out of the way for reassembly. Yeah, because there's still crud at the bottom, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Getting it real dry, because it's supposed to be like 80 degrees today. So it was a good day to get this engine out and wash it off and get it dried out really well. Go ahead and give it the roadkill garage treatment.
So what we have here is a 2003 GMC Sierra 1500. It originally came with a V6 from the factory.
4L60, but we all know, you know, what's up with a 4L60. So we went and got a 5.3 and a 4L80 and an eBay turbo, and we're gonna be so basic. We might as well just call this truck Pumpkin Spice, because that's how basic it's gonna be. It's got
spicy, it's pumpkin. Hey, hey, hey. Crouch out back, that engine's humming. It's red, it's spicy, it's pumpkin. This is more.
What we have here is a 2003 GMC Sierra. In factory trim, we got the, whatever you call these, bucket seats. You know, like I said, race truck. It's got a little bit of wear and tear down there. It's 20 years old. It's in pretty reasonably awesome shape.
We'll film cars illegally racing racing in Mexico, like, wink, wink. I don't know how that passes all the time. So what we have here is a 2003 GMC Sierra. Came from the factory with a V6 and a 4-speed automatic transmission. I traded this truck sight unseen for another Blue Wonder that I had for almost 20 years. So what we have is a 2003 GMC Sierra. And this old girl had some bad parts back here. We got a new bumper, hopefully someday. I don't know, do we have a new one? No. We had to beat this side a little bit straight, but we got it square up and down, you know. And we scored a bunch of parts. We said something about that on a short, right? The interior in this thing is mint. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you're like looking at all these bolts going, what is that nonsense, Bear? And I'm like, you know, when you get to work on some other rigs pulling parts and you just start unbolting bolts, because, I don't know, you ever been to the hardware store lately? Yeah, guess what? Factory GM bolts. Bling bling. That's how I roll. But anyway, this is coming together very well. We got all the parts. We got some stuff down there, putting that thing together. I took it apart on both rigs completely, both times, down to every nut and bolt, and then I realized, or the other guy told me, hey, you know, I think that come off at one piece, one big piece. And I'm like, well, so now I'm putting it back together in one big piece. So anything I can put on there to drop it in. And we got this Porsche Cayenne bumper. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever, a Yukon? This is a Yukon bumper, GMC Yukon. So looks kind of cool. When I put it on the car, mocked it up the other day. So we got to get the end little horny guys, because I saw these are actually different. I looked them up on Rock Auto between a Yukon and one of these, because the frame seems to be the same, because the core support is interchangeable. So I'm hoping, I'm gonna take a measurement from, you know, yay to yay, and put a mark with a piece of tape and cut it with the Sawzall from them beautiful blades. I'm gonna send old Hercules and Diablo through there, I think is what their names are. But anyway, or Warrior. We're gonna chop those horns off and put our own horns on there that'll hold the bumper up, and hopefully it's in the right spot. I actually got even the air conditioning condenser. That is gonna be awesome for them hot days in the Midwest. So, and we got a new receiver and another new compressor line too. So this truck might actually have air conditioning by the time I get done. Yeah. But what is going on with the engine, Bear? This is our short block. We got all the main caps installed with the crank back in it. Yeah, nice. Warning, whistling noises. So what are we using here? Bam, sponsor, Permatex Ultra Slick Engine Assembly Lube. And not because we was reading Potac's guide, you know, this one. that's just what we used ever since my dad was a kid. And since I was a kid watching my dad, I always seen this on the table, putting cams in. Yeah. And then in my later life, I used this to torque everything or to put on the bolt threads. So anyway, the engine oil works too. I've used many things. This just be what I have now. So we got the crank in. That's a good thing. It is completely as smooth as we'd want it to be. We didn't touch it. So we are gonna clean up these rod bearing areas when we put our little puppies back on there. And if I can get those on this week, things are going good. The one thing I did not know much about is the difference between the two rod bolts. Apparently I have the type number 1, and that's a little bit weaker. And you got type 2. I guess they changed that in 2000, so this must be a really early block. So anyway, that should be all right though. Another thing I learned is I saved the old bottom sprocket to help press on this sprocket. And then I just put 2 of my flex plate bolts in almost all the way, and then just put a pry bar in here to help hold it. It doesn't take much force. Put some assembly lube under this and slide it on. So now we got the oil pump and timing gear on there, and we can get to putting the old Super Richie camshaft in here. Are you ready, kids? Oh, who works on a wagon down by the sea? How about this? Well, guys, a totally awesome Gibraltar drum throne. Okay, so this is a Super Richie cam we got in here, and it went in just fine. But I don't have the back plate on, so the cam wanted to right out the back, so I had to put a box back there. No problem, it didn't go anywhere. And then this, I didn't realize I had the flat plate. Well, I knew I had the flat plate, but I ordered the Molly conversion kit, and one of them has an A and one of them doesn't. And it's called CS5975A. I guess has the countersunk bolts, and I did not have the countersunk bolts because that's a newer part. This is an older engine, so I had to order these bolts. But if I was smarter, I would just ordered the one without the A. Assembly lube on the end of it. So these countersunk ones are supposed to be 11 foot-pounds. So I put these in some oil. I don't know if that's required, but I've been using some, I have a old gallon of 520 weight here from doing the oil change on my girlfriend's car that we sold. So now I got assembly oil, synthetic, but this motor is already used. So then I'll just take this little guy here and get it lined up. I got the crank lined up with the dot going up. I'll put this on. I already rotated the cam to where the dots will line up on the bottom, and I'll just try to pull this up from the bottom and set this on the cam. Okay, what do we got here? Camshaft gear bolts, 26 feet-pounders. Let's swap this around while I do this. Okay, you got the line there and the dot there. Bam, bam. Okay, I just set this one vertical, the crank, and then this, when I slipped it on, I rotated the cam to where this was down roughly, and then you only got to be within however many degrees you got here, and the cam goes right on. There's plenty of slack there to just put that on. So I just went underneath the crank with the chain and right on there. All right, let's tighten this thing down. Here's your truck pan oil filter bypass removal. You got this guy here. You got to take that out. There's a 1/2 inch Allen wrench fits in there if you want. And then it'll take a little bit of force to get that to move. You can hit your Allen wrench with a dead blow if you want. Bang, broke it right loose, pull that out. Then you'll see that thing over there. You can just start the thread. I used a grade 8, 3/8, 16 thread bolt, long enough I could get some leverage on it. And I just threaded in there a little ways and then tilted back and forth, and it came right out. And then we can drop in our new piece. You got all clean, put your new bypass eliminator in there, then reinstall your oil filter nipple, and it'll hold the bypass delete piece right in the hole. We got the new horns welded on, and these parts changed, so if you wanted to put one on your rig, you got your bumper, take these off. These are actually, you could buy them on Rock Auto if you want, if they're bent. I measured out about 4.5 inches from this spot here, and then cut these on both rigs, welded them on. And same thing over here, went up about 4.5 inches, cut them off on both rigs, lined it up with a piece of tape and a sharp Sawzall, and put on the little brackets on the end, and then you can mount that other bumper on there. For our oil pan modifications for this guy, we got what we did in the POTAG book, it talked about this restriction right here. So in the stock pan, let me show you a stock pan. So in the stock one, it's pretty, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's a lot of little ledges in there. So you can kind of see from both angles, not really well. Come on, man. Yeah, it's just not as straight of a shot. So I know that don't mean everything, but pretty rough in there. And again, here's this one, just softened up a little bit. So anyway, oil will be able to flow through there, hopefully better. All right, and then what else we did to the pan was we added a turbo drain right here, a return. So right in the front of the pan, straight out of Sloppy Mechanics from, I don't know, I saw a video from 2016, and hey, let's get it done. So we just put this in here, take a $6 fitting, put it in there. I think this came with my kit with the 7875. I just put that on there for feed.
Red is spicy, it's